good morning and welcome to Frankly Speaking here on WYDC TV Big Fox. I'm your host, Frank Aiken. We are broadcasting live from the Hesselson studio here on Marcus Street in Corning. And I'm so glad that you've joined us because we'll be joined in the 7 o'clock hour by Steuben County Sheriff Jim Allard. So get your questions in for the sheriff. All right, we've got a lot to catch up on, don't we? All right, Mark writes in this morning. Good morning, Frank. Well, good morning, Mark. I see that the Secretary of War, P. Hegseth, is set to testify before the House today, and several GOP senators plan to introduce a fundraising bill for Trump's new ballroom. Thank you. We're going to be covering some of that. Appreciate that, Mark. The big news that came out, well, there's a lot of big news that came out yesterday, but ex-FBI Director James Comey has been indicted for the threatening to kill Trump in the 8647 Instagram post. Now, you'll recall he claimed he did not know, even though he was top law enforcement, he did not know that 86 had any kind of implications for violence. That was his argument. Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche announced the charges during a news conference, saying that threatening the life of the President of the United States will never be tolerated by the Department of Justice. The indictment, handed up in the Eastern District of North Carolina, lists one count for knowingly and willfully making a threat to take the life of and to inflict bodily harm upon the President of the United States. The other count was for knowingly and willfully transmitting an interstate commerce communications that contained a threat to kill the President of the United States. Comey posted the image of seashells arranged on a beach to form the numbers 8647 on his Instagram back on May 15, 2025, before deleting the message. He later told MSNBC host Nicole Wallace that he found it a totally innocent message to share, and it was crazy that social media users and others saw it as a call for violence against the 47th president. Blanche noted there are multiple threats in cases very similar to this one, including one where the defendant pled guilty recently to threatening former President Biden. I say that to say that while the case is unique and this indictment stands out because of the name of the defendant, his alleged conduct is the same kind of conduct that we will never tolerate and that we will always investigate and regularly prosecute. Comey issued a defiant statement in response saying, "I'm still innocent, I am not afraid, and I still believe in the independent federal judiciary. So let's go." Comey's lawyer, Patrick Fitzgerald, added, "Mr. Comey vigorously denies the charges contained in the indictment filed in the Eastern District of North Carolina. We will contest these charges in the courtroom and look forward to vindicating Mr. Comey and the First Amendment." So let's go. He also, Comey, said, "Keep the faith." So let's go, but it's really important that all of us remember, this is not who we are as a country. This is not how the Department of Justice is supposed to be. And the good news is we get closer every day to restoring those values. Keep the faith. Now, Jonathan Turley, I respect Jonathan Turley's opinion very often. So I wanted to just kind of quickly give you his take on it. Of course, he's, I believe, a professor at George Washington. Is it there? No, professor received his BA. Yep, he is. Public interest law at George Washington University. He said, in the last year, coverage of former FBI Director James Comey appears to be reverting to the level of a high school yearbook. Last March, we were discussing how Comey channeled Beyonce in a classified meeting and then may have revealed a code name in an encore performance for Family. Now we are back to discussing Comey's beach shell art on social media. The latter controversy is now at the heart of a second criminal indictment of Comey. In November, a court dismissed the first indictment for false statements after a challenge to the status of the acting U.S. attorney. However, this indictment is being brought in North Carolina, the location of the beach where the offending shells were found. Comey will now likely create a new category of protected shell speech. The problem with this indictment will be the merits. The The indictment concerns an image that was later removed by Comey showing 8647 and shells on a beach. Comey has a rather odd history of drawing inspiration from shells. This message, however, had a lethal twist since many interpreted the message as essentially calling for the killing of, or 86ing, President Trump. Comey insists that he did not make the shell art and that he only posted it to his more than 1 million followers on X. He was merely the captive of his shell muses. For over a decade, I have been one of Comey's most vocal and consistent critics, said Jonathan Turley. I have dozens of columns criticizing his excesses and the damage that he has done to our system. Citizens are allowed to denounce and even wish a president ill. For that reason, I would prefer to crawl into one of Comey's shells than write a column supporting him. However, there we are. The fact is that I believe that this indictment is facially unconstitutional, absent some unknown new facts. To convict Comey, the Justice Department will have to show that his adolescent picture was a true threat, and it is not. The First Amendment is designed to protect unpopular speech. Popular speech rarely needs protection. It also protects bad and hateful speech. It even protects lies so long as those lies are not used for the purpose of fraud or other criminal conspiracies. And then he goes through some of the legal precedent for this. But absent such new evidence, it appears to be yet another Comey posting that makes his Beyoncé renditions seem professional in comparison. Ironically, the indictment is unlikely to survive a challenge, but it is likely to fulfill Comey's narrative about the administration. It will undermine the legitimate objections to the lawfare waged under Comey. Comey's shell speech should not be celebrated, but it should be protected. That's Jonathan Turley. Also, pressure is growing on the DOJ to prosecute Anthony Fauci. You remember Dr. Fauci? After the indictment of his former advisor, David Morins. Now those calls for the Justice Department to prosecute Fauci himself for allegedly lying to Congress about funding risky research in China before the COVID-19 pandemic. Just 2 weeks remain before the 5-year legal deadline on May 11th to indict Fauci for denying under oath that he funded gain-of-function experiments that modified bat coronaviruses in the same city where the pandemic started. Morins, who was 78, was charged with 1 count of conspiracy, 2 counts of destruction, alteration, or falsification of records in federal investigations, and 2 counts of concealment, removal, or mutilation of records relating to the origins of COVID-19. He faces up to 51 years in prison. Critics say it's Fauci who bears the most responsibility and that he should be hauled into court. Trump told the New York Post in a phone interview on March the 31st that he intended to look into Fauci's status, and Republicans say they believe Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche, who is seeking the role permanently, might be willing to test Trump's assertion that former President Joe Biden's preemptive auto pen pardons, including for Fauci, are invalid. Oversight Project President Mike Howell said 99% of this country has no idea who Morins is. It's Fauci that they will blame for one of the worst government catastrophes in history in America. And so the test is Fauci. The Morins indictment is great, and we applaud it. But there are a lot of people out there that want to see Fauci held to account for the damage he wrought. Howell, whose group sent the Justice Department a draft indictment for Morins last year, believes the advisor's actions were closely linked to his boss. Quote, Fauci lied about one of the most damaging events in American history routinely and was behind a massive cover-up of the key factors, said Howell. Senator Rand Paul, to whom Fauci allegedly lied, told the Post that we've been looking through a lot of information on this for the last year or so. The Trump administration has been much more forthcoming than the Biden administration ever was. On Anthony Fauci's case, we think lying to Congress is one felony, Paul said. We also think that destroying federal records and advising others to destroy federal records is also a felony. So I think there's opportunity there. There was a vast, both organized and unorganized conspiracy to cover up the facts that the U.S. government was funding the research that led to the pandemic. Trump said in December that Biden was so mentally diminished that he was either unable to authorize auto pen pardons or that his staff did so without his knowledge, setting the stage for potential legal test cases. Biden claimed to the New York Times last year that he was aware of them. Now, to determine the validity of those pardons, Quote, you would have to indict somebody who's been pardoned, and I think it's worth a challenge, said Rand Paul. There's some questions that have never been asked before. Is the pardon power so broad that you can pardon people for a period of time and not for a conviction? Fauci's pardon is for a decade period of time for unspecified crimes. You'd have to determine whether Biden was aware of these pardons happening. My guess is that somebody around him will make him aware of which pardons he did by the time they get to trial, but what matters is whether he was aware at the time. I'm for pushing it to find out, and I think the only way to find out is to take it before the court. Rand Paul said it is also possible that Fauci committed crimes after Biden's pardon and that it might involve the question of conspiracy charges. Fauci would face up to 5 years in prison if convicted of lying to Congress. Possible conspiracy charges would carry another 5 years. Neil McCabe, a former Trump Justice Department official, told the New York Post that from the beginning, Trump's DOJ recognized and enforced Biden's auto pen clemencies, even the tranches of prison commutations that extended into the current administration. Trump said anything done by auto pen was invalid, so let's see how Blanche handles it now that it is his decision. So we'll be keeping a close eye on that. We've got other breaking news stories from yesterday, kind of a little bit of all over the place. We know King Charles visited the States. We're going to talk a little bit about that. We also have a couple of things here still about the White House Correspondents' Dinner on Saturday that I think you're going to find interesting. A couple of New York State updates. As I said, Sheriff Jim Allard will be our guest a little bit later on. Let's take a short break. We'll be right back with Frankly Speaking here on WYDC TV, Big Fox.
Hi, this is Tom Witzel, owner of Hesselson's in Amara Heights. At Hesselson's, we care about your well-being and overall health, whether it's relieving stress, muscle recovery, increasing circulation, or just revitalizing the body. Hesselson's now has 2 complete line of infrared and traditional rock saunas in our new and expanded showroom. Come in today and see why owning a sauna is a start of your new healthy lifestyle. Hesselson's is still locally and family-owned and operated in Amara Heights. After 70 years, it's still fun to poke in the corners at Hesselson's.
The Declaration Deals is here, and it's exploding into April at Chilson Wilcox. Drive home a Ram 1500 and save over $6,400. Plus, get 2.9% for 72 months or 4.9% for 84. And this comes with the best powertrain warranty in the business. 10 years, 100,000 miles. Or save up to $8,400 on a 2025 Jeep Grand Cherokee. But hurry, only 13 left. They all must go. As always, get the highest trade-in values. Period. These deals won't last. When they're gone, they're gone.
Google reviews rank Ferrario Jeep Ram the highest customer experience Jeep Ram dealer in our area. Returning Stellantis lessee, lease a new Ram 1500 Bighorn Hemi V8, just $499 a month and $29.99 due at signing. Or lease a new Jeep Gladiator Rubicon, just $419 a month and $29.99 due at signing. Check out all your Jeep Ram favorites during our Declaration of Deals. Visit Ferrario Jeep Ram now.
Meteorologist Brandon Weathers, some showers and rumble of thunder are also possible for today. Temperature near average as we top off around 63. Additional showers and thunderstorms are possible through the overnight hours with the system crossing the area. Temperatures still pretty seasonable, but we start to be on the backside of a cold front on Thursday with temperatures now about 10 degrees below average in the mid-50s. We'll be on the cool side with additional showers possible Friday.
The Frankly Speaking Roof Cam, brought to you by Boss Security in Horseheads. Contact them today for all your business and home security needs. We are back, broadcasting live from the Hesselson studio. Comment from a viewer. Morning, Frank. Well, good morning to you. Regarding Comey, there was an article found on Fox about Comey being indicted. On Fox, you can make comments about the article. Of course, I could not resist and joined in. As a response to one of my submissions, someone pointed out that there was, in previous years, the numbers 8646. I looked it up and found it to be widely available on flags and stickers. Having substantiated this fact, I had to tone down my criticism. If you were not aware of the 8646 numerical message, I thought it might be interesting to mention, but I need to add that I have no idea who conceived of this. Yeah, that would just, I'm assuming you're saying just that it was, people had it on flags for Biden? Could very well be the case. I did not know that at the time. or now. I guess I would have just learned that from you. So thank you. Trump, this is going to get a lot of attention. President Trump will be featured prominently on the new U.S. passports designed by the State Department to commemorate America's 250th anniversary. Renderings show an engraved-style portrait of Trump set against the Declaration of Independence and a flowing American flag on the inside passport cover. The president's distinctive signature in gold is directly under his portrait, along with the words United States of America. Artist John Trumbull's iconic painting of the Founding Fathers signing the Declaration of Independence is featured on a separate page, superimposed over the American flag. The back cover will feature a navy and gold version of the first official American flag adopted by Congress in 1777, with the number 250 centered between the 13 stars. State Department spokesperson Tommy Pigott said, as the United States celebrates America's 250th anniversary in July, the State Department is preparing to release a limited number of specially designed U.S. passports to commemorate this historic occasion. The passports, which are optional, will have a limited run of 250,000 and only be available in the Washington Passport Agency office. The new designs will not compromise the document's various security features. Quote, these passports will feature customized artwork and enhanced imagery while maintaining the same security features that make the U.S. passport the most secure documents in the world. The commemorative passport is one of several America 250 initiatives the Trump administration is undertaking to celebrate the nation's 250th birthday. A Grand Prix race on the National Mall is planned for August under the banner, as well as a UFC fight on the White House South Lawn set to take place in June. The officials also said that the new passport design, again, which are optional, will be available for any American citizen who applies for a passport when the rollout happens and will continue for as long as there is availability. All right, there you go. So King Charles III visited the States yesterday, hailing our irreplaceable and unbreakable relationship, meaning between the U.S. and the U.K. And he also gave a historic speech before Congress and celebrated America 250. The king managed to woo Republicans and Democrats alike with his dry humor, respect for democracy, and call for the defense of Ukraine, bringing lawmakers to their feet several times. I did see some people, I guess for lack of a better word, joking about this online, that the party that holds no king rallies sure welcomed a king with open arms, even giving him a standing ovation. During his nearly 30-minute speech, the king touted the irreplaceable and unbreakable relationship and called for a renewal in the bond between the UK and the US. He celebrated America's 250th birthday, acknowledging ours is a partnership born out of dispute. But he recalled the deep historic and personal bonds, including his mother, Queen Elizabeth's speech before Congress back in 1991, and how the partnership has endured even through the most trying times, saying, from the bitter divisions of 250 years ago, we forged a friendship that has grown into one of the most consequential alliances in human history. We find ourselves in a new era, this more volatile and more dangerous time. The challenges we face are too great for any one nation to bear alone, but in this unpredictable environment, our alliance cannot rest on past achievements or assume that foundational principles simply endure. The King's speech comes during a turbulent time in U.S. relations with the United Kingdom, as President Trump has butted heads with British Prime Minister Keir Starmer on numerous occasions. And while King Charles didn't address that conflict directly, he sought to remind that the deep connection between the two nations will outlast current disagreements and governments. He made note of Trump's own words, quote, the bond of kinship and identity between America and the United Kingdom is priceless and eternal. It is irreplaceable and unbreakable. Renewal today starts with security, said King Charles. The United Kingdom recognizes that the threats we face demand a transformation in British defense. That is why our country, in order to be fit for the future, has committed to the biggest sustained increase in defense spending since the Cold War. Many members of Congress, Republicans and Democrats, have expressed concern that Trump has engaged in executive overreach and needs to adhere more to the separations of power. The U.S. Supreme Court Historical Society has calculated that Magna Carta is cited in at least 160 Supreme Court cases since 1789, not least as the foundation of the principle that executive power is subject to checks and balances, the king noted. And that was not the first bipartisan standing ovation. The king's impassioned defense of NATO and plea for Ukraine had lawmakers on both sides of the aisle cheering, saying unyielding resolve is needed for the defense of Ukraine and her most courageous people in order to secure a truly just and lasting peace. Both House Speaker Mike Johnson and former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi expressed optimism before the speech that the king would help unify Congress and solidify U.S.-UK relations. Senator Lindsey Graham tweeting out yesterday, the king nailed it. His speech was a much-needed morale boost for Congress. Graham, who is a close ally and friend of Trump, added it was a bit odd that it took a king to bring them together. I believe most members of Congress feel better after the speech than they did before, though I will admit it was a bit odd that the unifying feeling had to come from the King of England, but so be it. The speech is part of a state visit that saw the king and Queen Camilla. How do you say that? I know I should know that. Camilla? I don't really pay that much attention to the royals. Feted at the White House with a state dinner and a celebratory welcome ceremony. Some people had noted that President Trump at one point got a little handsy with Melania on their walk with King Charles. King Charles also yesterday condemned the recent assassination attempt on the president, saying, ladies and gentlemen, we meet in times of great uncertainty, in times of conflict from Europe to the Middle East, which pose immense challenges for the international community and whose impact is felt in communities, the length and breadth of our countries. We meet, too, in the aftermath of the incident not far from this great building that sought to harm the leadership of your nation and to ferment wider fear and discord. Let me say with unshakable resolve, such acts of violence will never succeed. All right. Okay, two other things on that, and then we're going to move along. But feel free to weigh in. Not much to report, but like Lindsey Graham said, it had a unifying feel in Congress. So your thoughts on that? Read some of your comments when we return. Stay with us. We'll be right back with Frankly Speaking after this.
The only thing more American than apple pie and 4th of July is baseball. This year, WYDC is bringing you 25 New York Mets games free over the air this spring and summer. No fees and no subscription services. Tune into WJKP 48.2 to watch the New York Mets this MLB season. Let's go Mets!
Give kids time. Ask them how they're feeling. And listen.
Small businesses are the heart of America. Like you, these entrepreneurs started out with a dream and the drive to build a better life. If you have a small business idea to grow or challenge to face, you don't have to go it alone. Since 1964, SCORE has helped millions of entrepreneurs build their businesses. Today, they are the nation's largest nonprofit source of expert mentoring, resources, and education. Whether you're starting out, building back, or have worked at it for years, SCORE will match you with specialized mentors. Our thousands of volunteers provide the guidance and connections you need for free. Your success is waiting. SCORE is ready to help. Find a mentor today at SCORE.org.
Dear Coach.
Dear Coach, they don't teach you that inner strength is the most important kind of strong. But you taught me that.
They don't teach you how to build confidence in yourself or how to deal with all the pressures all at once. But you taught me that.
First tee was more than golf. It's where I discovered what I'm capable of.
You didn't just prepare me for 18 holes. You were preparing me for every day of my life. Learn more at First
The Frankly Speaking Roof Cam, brought to you by Boss Security in Horseheads. Contact them today for all your business and home security needs. We are back, broadcasting live from the Hesselson studio. Some comments from viewers. For your information regarding 8646, if you do a search for an 8646 flag, we'll see just how widely spread it had become. But I should add that the phrase was conceived of on social media. Also, regarding the King's speech, Trump joked that he had never been able to get a standing ovation from the Democrats or something like that. Well, that would be true. I don't think he's ever got a standing ovation from the Democrats. So that's a good point that he made. Comment from Jack. He says, "Good morning, Frank." Well, good morning, Jack. The combined TDS efforts of government officials and Democrat politicians only fan the flames of the would-be assassins into heroes in the mind of their supporters. I've got a little bit on that. It's scary, Jack. You're right. It's irresponsible, despicable, inexcusable, and treasonous behavior, essentially among government, quote, co-workers. Imagine talking like that about people at your workplace. You wouldn't have a job for long, that's for sure. It has creeped in as accepted rhetoric since President Trump won, and it needs to stop. Yes, it's very troubling. And you see, well, we'll talk about it here in just a little bit, but you see, again, I have examples of a teacher who celebrated the assassination attempt, and we know that this would-be assassin was academia. I'm going to talk a little bit about that later on, but last couple things about the King's visit. King Charles III presented President Trump with a bell from a World War II-era British submarine dubbed the HMS Trump at the White House State Dinner, where the two leaders bonded over highs and lows of the centuries-long U.S.-UK relationship. The shiny brass bell, bearing Trump's name in 1944, the year the submarine left a UK shipyard, was part of a vessel that played a critical role during the war in the Pacific. May it stand as a testimony to our nation's shared history and shining future. He described the offering as his personal gift to the president. The gift was presented at the posh white tie dinner organized by First Lady Melania for the royal couple and attended by many high-profile guests, including top Trump officials and cabinet members, Congress members, Supreme Court justices, tech CEOs, Fox News personalities, and most of Trump's children. Following a photo op, guests sat for a lavish four-course dinner featuring seasonal ingredients and herbs and honey from the White House grounds as Trump and Charles gave toasts. During his toast, Charles described the story of Britain and America as one of reconciliation from adversaries to the closest of allies, not always perhaps following the straightest path. And should you ever need to get a hold of us, well, just give us a ring, was his joke. Okay. Now, Trump in his remarks from the head table revealed that Charles agrees Iran can never be allowed to obtain a nuclear weapon. We're doing a little Middle East work right now, the two of you might know, and we're doing very well. We have military defended that particular opponent, and we're never going to let that opponent ever. Charles agrees with me even more than I do. We're never going to let the opponent have a nuclear weapon. He asserted that history has known no more powerful force than the combination of American patriotism and British pride. Trump expanded at the top of his remarks. He said, this is what that viewer was referencing. He got the Democrats to stand. I've never been able to do that. I couldn't believe it. They liked him more than they've ever liked any Republican or Democrat. There is something ironic about that the party of no kings celebrated the king so robustly. Charles opened his toast by expressing his sympathies for the White House correspondents' dinner shooting, praising Trump's courage and steadfastness and Secret Service agents for their swift actions in preventing further injury, but also joked about the extensive renovations underway at the White House, saying, "On this occasion, I cannot help notice the readjustments to the East Wing, Mr. President, following your visit to Windsor Castle last year. And I'm sorry to say that we British, of course, made our own small attempt at real estate development of the White House in 1814, referring to the British attempt to burn down the building during the War of 1812. All right. Also, I don't know if you saw this, but Chuck Schumer wore a giant bandage on his forehead for King Charles' speech. The New York Democrat was first seen with a bandage and a small abrasion just below it on Monday. The senator said he suffered the wound after a late-night encounter with an open door. Closet door was open late at night and met my forehead, he told reporters. The run-in with a door didn't appear to affect the senator at all. All right. There you go. Chuck Schumer. Okay. A couple quick things here. I know we're jumping around a lot. It scares me. Well, on college campuses, it concerns me because you have, and not just college campuses, throughout the education system, where you have these people, like, for instance, I have a teacher that was suspended for celebrating the assassination attempt on the president. We know what happened to Charlie Kirk on a college campus. This is an update that a Southern California city has triggered a political flashpoint after installing street signs honoring Charlie Kirk. In Westminster, Mayor Charlie Guyan stood Tuesday beneath a newly installed Charlie Kirk Way sign, part of a symbolic redesignation of a stretch of All-American Way near the city's Civil Center. By doing this, we promote the freedom of speech here in the city of Westminster. The city council approved the measure in a 4-1 vote last fall. The action does not officially rename the street or alter addresses. Instead, new signage reading Charlie Kirk Way has been placed beneath or between Westminster Boulevard and 13th Street, while the original All-American Way designation remains in place. I myself am very inspired by what Charlie Kirk has been doing for this country, what he's been doing to the younger people for the next generation. The council also voted to designate October the 14th, Kirk's birthday, as Charlie Kirk Day. Now, I just mentioned that because we're going to be talking about what's happening on college campuses. Listen to this. The University of California, Los Angeles School of Law is facing accusations of discrimination after an administrator allegedly threatened to discipline a conservative campus group for identifying protesters who disrupted a recent event. So a little bit of victim blaming here. You've got the group that had protesters try to shut down their event. They happen to be conservative. So who does the school go after? Not the disruptors, not the agitators. No, they're going after the conservative group. The Foundation for Individual Rights and Expression, FIRE, said it sent a letter urging the university to retract what it calls a threat against Federalist Society members' rights. The controversy stems from an April 21st event featuring Department of Homeland Security General Counsel James Perkville. More than 150 protesters swarmed the talk, booing, shouting profanities, and making death threats. In April 22nd emails, UCLA's Assistant Dean for Student Affairs warned the Federalist Society President Matthew Weinberg against identifying the protesters, the disruptors, the agitators. Quote, I have also seen requests online to identify students in the audience who are visible in video recording. I would strongly encourage you and other organizers to not disclose those details. If that information is shared, despite the tenor of some online commentary, and an implicated student reports behavior from anyone that falls under prohibited behavior per the Student Code of Conduct, the student organization and or individual students could be connected to it, and allegations being the outcome was reasonably predictable when the names were disclosed and subjected to campus processes. Wow. Okay. As painful as online criticism may be at times, UCLA may not restrict protected speech merely to shield student protesters from the consequences of their action, said FIRE Program Counsel Jesse Appleby. FIRE also claims UCLA is applying a double standard, alleging that while the Federalist Society members are being silenced, protesters have been identified and mocked, identified them and mocked them online. Anyway, we've got a couple things on the education system. I just wanted to bob through those. Hey, what do you think? Well, we got to take a break, but the United Arab Emirates to leave OPEC on May the 1st. Major news coming out yesterday and a major blow to the cartel. that coordinates production among many of the world's largest oil producers, particularly those in the Middle East. We'll talk about that really quickly. The New York Post editorial board has a statement on that I think you'll find interesting. But we got to take a break. Stay with us. We'll be right back with Frankly Speaking after this.
Lease a brand new 2026 Hyundai Elantra SE sedan featuring alloy wheels, Android Auto, and Apple CarPlay with no money down for only $239 a month for 36 months. Make car buying simple. Drive your deal at Simmons Rockwell Hyundai in Big Flats.
Did you know that children growing up with poor air quality have smaller lungs and higher rates of asthma than children that grow up with good air quality? And unfortunately, poor communities have poor air quality. IQ Air Foundation is working to change this. Today, the IQ Air Foundation provides filtration technology to schools with poor air quality through our Clean Air for Kids program. Our goal is to help over 50,000 school children every year breathe over 90% cleaner air indoors, helping to level the playing field, reduce barriers to learning, reduce sick days, and increase test scores. Mitigating poor air quality is key to environmental justice. Help Clean Air for Kids reach more children at IQAirFoundation.org.
Hi, I'm meteorologist Brandon Weathers. Some showers and rumble of thunder are also possible for today. Temperature near average as we top off around 63. Additional showers and thunderstorms are possible through the overnight hours with the system crossing the area. Temperatures still pretty seasonable, but we start to be on the backside of a cold front on Thursday with temperatures now about 10 degrees below average in the mid-50s. We'll be on the cool side with additional showers possible Friday.
The Frankly Speaking Roof Cam, brought to you by Ball Security and Horseheads. Contact them today for all your business and home security needs. We are back, broadcasting live from the Hesselson's studio. Ken writes in, King Charles is quite the joker. I bet the sheeple are beside themselves, because there was actually a king in the White House. Yeah, the No Kings protesters, ones that attended rallies in Congress, they were giving the king a standing ovation. I wanted to mention this. OPEC's stranglehold, according to the New York Post, on the global economy is finally coming apart at the seams, thanks in large part to President Trump's efforts at home and abroad. And the results will be freer markets, long-term lower energy price, and less debt slavery for developing nations. On Tuesday, the United Arab Emirates, long frustrated with OPEC's limits on its oil production, declared its intent to leave the group within days to be free to meet consumer demand or energy on its own terms. This is great for consumers because the production and price of oil shouldn't be set by global demand, or it should be set by global demand, not by the whims of kings and dictators. OPEC began flexing its muscles after the 1973 Yom Kippur War, when it refused to sell oil to any nation that had supported Israel. The ensuing oil shock saw prices triple, with markets now not truly stabilizing until after 1980, when Washington repealed its destructive efforts to control prices. But OPEC's manipulations have still created the largest transfer of wealth in human history, turning deserts into trillion-dollar tyrannies. More, the economic warfare funded the rise of global terror. And Venezuela, Russia, and Qatar have all profited handsomely from OPEC's controls of oil prices, using this to spread mayhem in their neighborhoods. And the third world suffered the most, forced into debt to afford energy and fertilizer. Fairly priced oil will prevent despots from manipulating the market with artificial gluts and shortages. No one can be unhappier today than the Iranian regime because throttling the oil supply has been central to its power. Iran did itself no favors, of course, by bombing all its neighbors, largely OPEC members themselves, who wants to be allied with a partner who bombs your oil storage facilities and your ports. Trump's insistence on unleashing America's energy resources has played a huge part in defanging OPEC. His resolute upending of the toxic old Middle East order is finishing the job. Washington has hoped to dethrone OPEC for more than half a century. This president is finally doing it, to the benefit of the world's most vulnerable and of civilization itself. I thought that was a good way of looking at that announcement. Okay, I know I don't want to talk too much about Jimmy Kimmel, but we learned yesterday that the FCC is reviewing ABC's broadcast license after that quote-unquote joke. Disney told the Post, "We have received the Federal Communications Commission's order initiating an accelerated review of the licenses held by ABC's own television stations. ABC and its stations have a long record of operating in full compliance with FCC rules and serving their local communities with trusted news, emergency information, and public interest programming. We are confident that record demonstrates our continued qualifications as licensees under the Communication Act and the First Amendment, and are prepared to show that through the appropriate legal channels, our focus remains, as always, on serving viewers in the local communities where our stations operate." Now, there are groups, people that you could say are Melania supporters, that are talking about boycotts. It's kind of a grassroots boycott movement that is growing. Boycotting of advertisers for ABC's Jimmy Kimmel Live. Amid a report saying that Disney is ready to pull the plug following the left-wing TV host's comment. Kimmel's facing intense backlash on this one. Twitter users going on and saying, "Starting today, I won't buy any products advertised on the Jimmy Kimmel Show," and then sharing a screenshot of who or what organizations and businesses were advertising. The social media user was responding to a Monday morning post from Melania Trump, which read, "Kimmel's hateful and violent rhetoric is intended to divide our country." Well, we know about what she had to say. So kind of a grassroots movement to boycott advertisers that advertised during Jimmy Kimmel's show. CNN, Kimmel's message to Trump in wake of FCC challenge to ABC. The show goes on. Defiant. Unbelievable. The comedian used a satirical monologue on King Charles in his visit to the White House to highlight the hypocrisy of a joke the president made about his marriage to First Lady Melania Trump. During an arrival at the ceremony for the royals, Trump spoke Tuesday about his partner's 63-year marriage, turning to Melania and joking, "That's a record we won't be able to match, darling. I'm sorry." Kimmel saying, "Only Donald Trump would demand that I be fired for making a joke about his old age, and then a day later go out and make a joke about his old age." We know it's different. We know. Comey and Kimmel cases drive home Trump's dim view of foes' free speech, says Aaron Blake, another one from CNN. But clearly it's not done pushing the limits in ways that fly in the face of what it promised on the First Amendment. Enough on that. But as Kristen Fleming said, Kimmel stopped being funny years ago. It really became a political show, unfortunately. And we know what he said. We don't have to get through all that. Surely Kimmel, a person who prides himself on his humanity, would admit regret over such a tasteless joke, especially given all the attempts on Trump's life. Instead, he used Monday's monologue to repeat the expectant widow line, trying to explain it away as a joke at Trump's age. Sure, it was an age joke about death, aimed at a woman who has seen her husband shot during a rally in Butler, Pennsylvania, an attack that killed an innocent rally attendee. Let us not kid ourselves, says Kristen Flemings. If anyone made this jab about a Democrat's wife, there would be swift movement to yank that person off the air. Can them, like Roseanne Barr after she tweeted a racially insensitive joke at Obama's senior advisor, Valerie Jarrett. But hey, Kimmel was really talking about Father Time, putting Trump in an eternal sleeper hold. He wasn't referring to the bullets from the gun of Cole Allen or another would-be assassin. It's always a good joke when you have to explain it after the fact. That's a great point by Kristen Flemings. And also, I think she raises a really good point. Not that a conservative outlet would do this, but imagine if there was a joke after, let's say, the presidential debate where Biden was showing his mental and physical decline. Do you think that there would have ever been a joke like that made at Biden's expense by a Kimmel or a Stephen Colbert? Of course not. It's a one-way street. The incident was reminiscent of when Kimmel continued to make the case that MAGA was responsible for Charlie Kirk's murder, which caused him to be yanked off air for a brief moment. Kimmel can't stay out of hot water because he is so blinded by his hatred for Trump, he's become careless. Even in his call for cooling the rhetoric, he shifted the blame to the Trumps. I think a great place to start to dial that back would be to have a conversation with your husband about it. He spoke to Melania. What's so rich about all of this is that Kimmel truly sees himself as a good guy fighting a dictator every night from his late night seat where he is reportedly earning $15 million a year. He believes his all-consuming crusade to take down Trump has been under the banner of protecting decency and democracy. This sentiment is evident in the way he turned what would be a breezy and fun sleepy time lullaby for a broad audience into hard, partisan MSNBC After Dark. It's the way his wife and executive producer, Molly McNerney, spoke about their family members who didn't respond to her unsolicited "Don't Vote for Trump" emails. In an interview late last year, she bemoaned her now estranged family that didn't fall in line with the Kimmel household's political agenda. So it's not just on his show, it's in his personal life. Yes, the Kimmels, who probably cut off every non-showbiz normal person, live in their own echo chamber, where down-to-earth folks like George Clooney affirm their TDS. Even Bruce Springsteen, who has devoted his final act to screaming about Trump, interrupted his No Kings show in Austin to offer prayers of gratitude that neither Trump nor any of his administration were injured. Simple stuff. Trump is president and therefore fair game for a late-night host, but when every line is in the service of tearing down one guy, it weakens the impact of jokes or of deserved criticism. However, don't tell Kimmel what his job is. He recently told Michelle Obama, "My job is whatever I decide my job is, or whatever my employers allow me to do." He then invoked George Carlin and Richard Pryor, two great comedians who did not host network late-night television shows. Equally, I don't like Trump's call for ABC to fire Kimmel because it only creates a stupid narrative that Kimmel is a free speech martyr. Trump has bigger battles to fight than a virtue-signaling late-night host. But Kimmel does not. It's a shame because Kimmel was once very funny. Instead, he's decided pursuing a political grudge is more important than being an entertainer. Whatever he thinks his job is, his act is wearing thin. All right, we got to take a short break. A couple other things to get to. Stay with us. Sheriff Allard will be joining us very soon. Sounds like there's some dogs out on the street. Stay with us. We'll be right back with Frankly Speaking after this.
Don't have time to go to the gym? The health club is not an option? Come to Hesselson today and see why swim spas and fitness systems can fit into anyone's yard and budget. 12-foot, 14-foot, 15-foot, 18-foot dual temperature hot tub and swim spas are all on display in Hesselson's indoor and outdoor showroom. Try before you buy. 0% interest-free financing options are available on every Hesselson swim spa. Swim and exercise year-round and start making every day better. After 70 years, it's still fun to poke in the corners at Hesselson's.
If you want an experience that wakes you up, a place where you can scream to your heart's delight, go ahead. No one will hear you anyway. Here, you don't just watch. You feel. Come as you are and have a damn good time. That rumble you hear, that growl you feel, that's us.
There have always been a few, ready to fight and win. Since 1775, these few have been Marines, and they come from across this land to defend the future of our nation. This year, our Corps celebrates 250 years, and Marines are proud to serve this country, each other, and all that is still to come for America.
The Frankly Speaking Roof Cam, brought to you by Boss Security in Horseheads. Contact them today for all your business and home security needs. We are back, broadcasting live from the Hesselson studio. Comment from viewers. All that the left offers to govern is rhetorical spinning, ideas without common sense, along with a vitriolic and constitution-twisting bunch of rules that even they refuse to follow. Also, King Charles is tough for me to watch. Just knowing he's claiming to be related to Vlad the Impaler Dracula is enough to make me switch the channel. Something like that I'd hide, not be proud of. King Charles has creeped me out ever since all the drama around Princess Diana and how she died mysteriously. Thank you very much. Comment from a different viewer. Kimmel being called a comedian is like someone calling a slug a horse. You get the point, even though my analogy is not very well developed. In other words, Kimmel, a comedian, don't make me laugh. Thank you very much. By the way, U.S. activists, labor unions, Democrat organizations, and community groups are organizing an economic blackout this year to commemorate May Day, International Workers' Day, inspired by the economic blackout in Minnesota during the massive ICE operations in the state. May Day Strong events are being planned across the U.S., with organizers calling for no school, no work, no shopping, in protest of government policies they say put billionaires' needs above those of workers. Man, do some of these protesters have jobs at this point? I know this is a cliche thing to ask, but boy, when the weather breaks, it gets crazy with the No Kings rally. In this case, no school, no work, no shopping on May Day, which is coming up in just a few days. All right. Okay. All right. I mentioned, oh no, we got to take a short break because I ran late on that last one. So many Democrats are saying that it's not their party that is fanning the flames of this rhetoric, that it is actually Republicans. Jen Psaki said Democrats get blamed for rhetoric, when what I hear is them urging people to tone down. You've heard that. It's so infuriating. I think probably a lot of people watching. When an act of political violence happens, or attempted political violence, and all of a sudden the Democrats are blamed all for their rhetoric, when what I hear over and over again is Democrats saying, please tone it down. Please tone down the rhetoric. And that's not what we stand for. And we have been, frankly, from the other side, from Trump and others, elevated rhetoric. Now you don't want to get a he said, she said place, but it's really frustrating. Mark Kelly responded by noting that political violence has been directed at people on the right, such as Charlie Kirk assassination, and saying, I don't think just one party is responsible. I do think we all have to try better. So Democrats get blamed for the rhetoric when it's not them at all. Never mind what you see, like Jimmy Kimmel's, never mind some of the language that we brought to you where we can't repeat on the air. Okay. Or this preschool teacher who was axed after complaining about Trump surviving the latest assassination attempt. As I mentioned, the education system, that's preschool. We'll talk about it when we come back. Stay with us. We'll be right back after this.
When it comes to home improvement, Horseheads Do-It Center has you covered. Family-owned, locally trusted, and packed with everything you need for any project. From top-quality tools to kitchen and bath essentials, we make it easy. Competitive prices, expert advice, friendly service. Visit us at 124 North Main Street or online at doitbest.com/horseheads today.
The Declaration Deals is here, and it's exploding into April at Chilson Wilcox. Drive home a Ram 1500 and save over $6,400. Plus, get 2.9% for 72 months or 4.9% for 84. And this comes with the best powertrain warranty in the business. 10 years, 100,000 miles. Or save up to $8,400 on a 2025 Jeep Grand Cherokee. But hurry, only 13 left. They all must go. As always, get the highest trade-in values. Period. These deals won't last. When they're gone, they're gone.
Meteorologist Brandon Weathers, some showers and rumble of thunder are also possible for today. Temperature near average as we top off around 63. Additional showers and thunderstorms are possible through the overnight hours with the system crossing the area. Temperatures still pretty seasonable, but we start to be on the backside of a cold front on Thursday with temperatures now about 10 degrees below average in the mid-50s. We'll be on the cool side with additional showers possible Friday.
The Frankly Speaking Roof Cam, brought to you by Boss Security and Horseheads. Contact them today for all your business and home security needs. We are back, broadcasting live from the Hesselson studio. Yes, an Ohio preschool teacher was fired after she released a twisted TikTok video showing her apparently upset over President Trump surviving Saturday's shooting. Corrine Baum, a teacher at Bright Path Bridgetown Child Care Center in Cincinnati, was fired Monday after she seemingly aired her frustration over the president walking away unscathed from a third assassination attempt. This is a preschool teacher, so it's at every single level. I would also add, if you're a teacher, a doctor, someone that people put their trust in, no one cares what your opinion is on Trump. Just sit it out if you want your job. There's a few creators out here saying like Friday or yesterday could have been the day, she said in her video. And then I wake up to that news, but not that news. We're going to have to pay really close attention to what they're actually trying to distract us from. The school saying our organization does not tolerate and explicitly condemns any calls for violence. The comments made online by this individual are deeply inconsistent with our values. The individual in question has been terminated. Wow. And then you got to keep in mind that the would-be assassin, a Caltech graduate, a teacher in California, going back to that conversation we had, just living in an echo chamber where everybody is like-minded and they don't see a scenario where this is going to get them in trouble or people will question them. J.B. Pritzker, who wants to be president, Democrat from Illinois, said demented Trump is guilty of inciting violence. Okay. I don't need to go through that. Are we out of time? We are. Senator John Fetterman, weighed in on his party's opposition to the White House ballroom with construction already underway. We know that the president said he wants to, the White House Correspondents' Dinner to him shows that we need that ballroom even more. Well, Fetterman said that the opposition is TDS. I don't know why. It's not going to cost the taxpayers a penny. It's going to be one of the most secure buildings by far in the world. Why would there be any reluctance or resistance to building it when every future president will benefit from it? I really don't understand. The only thing that I could explain that is the TDS, for me. I was right there. I was one or two tables away from the front table with the president and the vice president thing. I've witnessed this. But even before that even happened, I was struck by, my gosh, we have the entire, the line of succession right there in a very small kind of, area there. Johnson was there. Rubio was there. Of course, the president and Vance were there too. And Hegseth and all those people there. People have forgotten perhaps what happened in Oklahoma City back in 1995. Somebody could have bombed a building for that, And now I was the only Democrat that refused to vote to shut down the DHS. And it is, and now we're here in conflict of Iran. Iran's already has a desire to assassinate the president too. So I think after tonight, I'm thinking we really get lucky because it could have been far more catastrophic. I'm so grateful no one was hurt. But that's why I'm saying, we need to have a secure facility for events like this. We can't ever allow to be allowed to be exposed in that way to an attack that a hotel was never designed to do that in a safe way, which I witnessed that night. All right, we got to take a short break. Stay with us. Hour number 2, moments away.
Go to your local library, create with the 3D printer, release your inner audio engineer or sewing machine rentals, all with your library card. Go to your local library today.
An app can turn your life upside down in an instant. Pain, medical bills, time off work, it's overwhelming. And when you look to the insurance company for help, they don't see you. They don't see your family or what you've lost. To them, you're just a number, just dollars on a spreadsheet. Their job is to pay you as little as possible. At WYDC Injury Law, we see the person behind the claim. We fight for your recovery, your future, and your peace of mind. If you've been hurt in New York, call 607-500-HURT.
Give kids time. Just 5 minutes a day. Ask them how they're feeling. And listen.
At Simmons Rockwell, you'll find brand new 2026 Chrysler Pacifica Select all-wheel drives for only $44,999 during the Declaration of Deals event going on now at Simmons Rockwell Dodge Chrysler Jeep.
And we welcome you to hour number 2 of Frankly Speaking here on WYDC TV Big Fox. I'm your host, Frank Acom. We are broadcasting live from the Hesselson studio here on Marcus Street in Corning. In just a little bit, we'll be talking with Sheriff Allard. There's a really good opinion piece by Daniel McCarthy that says our radical universities are turning out an army of educated assassins. Cole Allen, the would-be assassin from Saturday, is a graduate of Caltech, the prestigious California Institute of Technology. I'm not going to go through his whole history. I don't think we need to. But it won't be long before classrooms and opinion pages start filling up with radicalization for those like Cole Allen and Luigi Mangione who employ personal violence in the name of fighting the system. This moral rot should be arrested, not promoted by higher education. It's not enough if Caltech doesn't radicalize a Cole Allen. Our schools and universities, privileged as they are by taxpayer dollars, could de-radicalize them and teach them to do good, not violence, to their country and countrymen. A couple comments from viewers. Jen needs to circle back. I love it. Jen Saki. Canastillo's with you. Oh, hi, Canastillo. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Comment from a different viewer. How can the Democrats say they don't support all this? Remember Maxine Waters telling people to go after the MAGA supporters. Yes, she very much did, saying that there should be no rest for people. I'm paraphrasing, but no rest for those in the Trump administration. The sheriff is in the building. All right, we're going to take a short break. Get your questions in and stay with us. We'll be right back with Frankly Speaking after this.
What better way to start or end every day than relaxing in your very own Hesselson's hot tub? Massage therapy, relaxation, stress reliever, pain management, soothing muscles, or just spending time with a loved one. Hot water therapy really does make every day better. Hesselson's has been a part of this great community for over 70 years, still being locally owned and operated. So make the drive to Hesselson's and start making your path to a better life today. And after 70 years, it's still fun to poke in the corners at Hesselson's.
The Declaration of Deals is here, and it's exploding into April at Chilson Wilcox. Drive home a Ram 1500 and save over $6,400. Plus, get 2.9% for 72 months or 4.9% for 84. And this comes with the best powertrain warranty in the business. 10 years, 100,000 miles. Or save up to $8,400 on a 2025 Jeep Grand Cherokee. But hurry, only 13 left. They all must go. As always, get the highest trade-in values. Period. These deals won't last. When they're gone, they're gone.
When a child is fighting a critical illness, one truth touches us all. Every child deserves a childhood. A wish sparks a ripple of hope that transforms communities far and wide. And when we grant wishes together, we create a movement of kindness, strength, and unity. Become a wish maker today and be part of a journey that truly changes lives.
Meteorologist Brandon Weathers, some showers and rumble of thunder are also possible for today. Temperature near average as we top off around 63. Additional showers and thunderstorms are possible through the overnight hours with the system crossing the area. Temperatures still pretty seasonable, but we start to be on the backside of a cold front on Thursday with temperatures now about 10 degrees below average in the mid-50s. We'll be on the cool side with additional showers possible Friday.
Speaking Roof Cam. Brought to you by Boss Security in Horseheads. Contact them today for all your business and home security needs. We are back broadcasting live from the Hesselson studio, and in that studio, the sheriff. And you know what? Our first comment, good morning, Sheriff. Always a great show when the sheriff's in town.
Well, good morning. It's a beautiful day in Steuben County.
It sure is.
Thank you.
We've got a lot to cover. First of all, I know you just got back from a trip to Albany, and we want to talk about that. But before that, I got to ask, because it's that time of year, how's the garden?
It's rocking and rolling.
Yeah.
They were out last week getting it ready, getting the cold weather stuff in.
Yeah.
And hopefully we can avoid any more frost.
I know that's a problem this year.
But yeah, they've already been hard at it.
Yeah. Any changes this year? Because it was so successful in years past.
Right. Strawberries. We added strawberries this year.
Okay.
So now we have, besides the regular garden, we have strawberries, blackberries, raspberries, blackberries, apples, pears, and peach trees.
Wow.
So every year we try to add something new. This year was strawberries.
Oh, that's great. Well,
yeah.
And we'll ask every month now. That's my favorite question. But let's go to Albany. What was the quote that they're halfway through mid-budget? They always come up with these.
Yeah.
Kind of dumb.
All I know is they keep extending it, and one of the assembly persons told me, I can't remember how many tens. It was like almost $100,000 a day it's costing.
Great.
To continue to extend and have them there
It's the 29th. The whole month is over.
Yeah.
And it's due on the 1st.
Yeah.
I was trying to see.
It's so bad.
They're making good progress on state budget policy items.
Yeah.
Wow.
How about we just pass the budget and then we debate all of the legislative items? Wouldn't that be a novel idea?
I know. Also, just since we're talking about it, I saw today, I didn't get a chance to mention before you came in, New York's electricity prices 70% above the national average.
Yes.
Wow. Isn't that a crazy statistic? But that's not why you were in Albany. What was happening in Albany?
So, with all of the talk that's going on by the governor and the legislature regarding law enforcement interaction with our federal partners, and right now the hot button topic is ICE, but we feel as a group, as an association, that can extend itself to anywheres that the ruling party in Albany doesn't like.
Right.
And, one of the biggest takeaways after 9/11 was that all of the enforcement agencies were operating in a vacuum and in silos.
Yeah.
And they were not communicating. And that was the biggest recommendation coming out of there, and that was the biggest change you saw after 9/11 was to have better communication amongst federal, state, and local partners. As the government as our state government is working on their 12-month budget, there's been a lot of talk about making it so law enforcement can't talk with certain federal partners, that law enforcement can't interact with them, can't associate with them, and all of that is bad for public safety.
Absolutely.
Not to mention the fact that every sheriff is constitutionally elected in each county.
Right.
And we feel it's a gross infringement, what they're trying to do, a gross overreach, and also just plain bad for public safety. It makes us less safe. And, I've talked before about what we do with ICE and how we've been able to work with them and keep everyone safe. In doing so, this would take that away. The coercion right now is already occurring. Because we have the contracts with ICE, the 287G contracts, suddenly now we have a visitor from the Commission of Corrections every month that comes down to see how many ICE inmates we have.
And what's that number?
That's still zero. It's been zero since 2015.
I know. That's what I don't understand.
And
what a waste of time and money.
Well, yeah. So a guy's getting paid to come down from Albany, visit us for an hour, and go back and say, they still don't have anybody.
Can't you make a call?
Well, they already know it. We have to report every day the number of inmates that we have, the number of inmates we have that are federal, the number that are parole violators, et cetera, et cetera. So they already know it. To me, this is just another level of coercion from the state government.
Yeah. And what's the chances? Because obviously this is a hot button issue. We saw it at the protests, even at the county. To me, I hate to say it, but it seems like this is going to be the law of the land from Albany, isn't it?
Well, that's what they're pushing, yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, it does.
And,
I mean,
and
even when
again,
you
we
talk-
wanted to let them know that we consider that to be not only an overreach, but probably an actionable set of circumstances. You know, just even on the First Amendment level, saying you can't talk to another agency coming from anywhere but Albany would seem ridiculous.
Right. I mean,
But-
that's a good way of putting it. Well, and it's interesting because you had to deal with this at the local level. What, about a month or two before she made the announcement?
Yeah.
So it's kind of all for nothing.
Well, yeah. And, you know, we have, in New York is unique in that we have border counties with Canada all across the northern border. They rely on federal funding, not just through 287G programs, but there's a federal funding program called Stone Garden, which says border counties and one county away from a border county are funded federally to assist in border security.
Right.
It would sound like this would also affect that. And now you're talking about millions of dollars in county budgets that will be removed, not to mention the fact that most of what they're doing is trying to enforce smuggling, not just of people, but also of illegal goods, weapons, etc. So the devastation on public safety would be on the level of bail reform.
Well, and that's what I was just going to ask. It seems like anything we can do to go against public safety, we do in Albany.
Yes.
I mean, it's historically, especially under
It almost feels like a hold your beer.
Yeah, wait.
Hold my beer, watch this.
I know.
Watch what we're going to pass now.
That's what it feels like because I know not even jokingly, but every time it's budget season, you and I talk, it's like you've got to be nervous about what, because going back to what you said, policy.
Yeah.
Instead of doing a budget like the cities and towns have to do.
Well, you know, and it's so non-reactive to reality. You look at last year, it was the absolute worst year in history for the corrections in New York State that we've ever seen. I've never, ever seen in my life our correction officers go on strike before because of safety reasons. And we just had more issues in our state prisons, more attacks. What's been in the state budget to alleviate that?
Nothing.
Nothing at all.
Phil Palmasound's been doing a great job holding them accountable, but again, it's Albany with the one-party rule. They don't care.
Yeah. So instead of focusing on corrections and fixing that, the only legislation I've heard is to double down on the HALT Act and make it more severe. And again, like I say, the fact that we're getting a monthly visit from the Commission of Corrections just shows me the mindset is we will coerce you into doing whatever we want you to do, regardless of what's good for the inmates, or in the whole issue of not being able to transfer folks to federal custody in the jails makes it inherently less safe for that person, for everyone involved.
Everyone, yep.
So as you look at it, again, these are knee-jerk political reaction policy
to get the press release out
without ever talking to the practitioners on the ground on what will this affect.
Yeah, and I mean, on a different level, it's what we're dealing with the climate policy. They just want to get these things out there so they
be
get
the first.
Be the first, get the press conference, and pat themselves on the back, and then it just can't be done. And in this case, it puts people's lives in actual danger.
It does.
So
it does.
I wonder,
Absolutely
where does
does.
that person come from when they come and visit you? How far would travel?
For
that to see if you
from
have
Albany.
They do that once a month?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a good job.
Yeah.
I bet you it's a government car too.
And it's funny, you know, not to make too much light. Oh yeah, it's definitely a government car. It's a Tahoe. Not to make light of it, but you know me.
Yeah.
The guy that comes down is a guy that's done. So we get cycle reviews every year.
Yeah.
He's one that's been there several times before. I know him. He's a great guy.
Oh yeah.
So when he comes in, we're happy to see him. You know, but then I think we're wasting because his salary. He's a senior guy.
Oh yeah.
You know, and
he's getting good money, and he's basically on a road trip once a month.
Yes,
and this time
it's
of
not
year,
just us.
Yeah, so he's bopping
it's
all
to
around.
every county that has a contract.
Wow.
Yeah.
I guess it's not bad work. You mentioned COs. How's everything going in that?
Good, actually. We've been able to hire a few more.
Okay.
I think we have 9 openings still. We're planning an open house in June to try and get folks in to show them a little bit about what the job is. The last contract, we were able to we were one of the few counties that our correction officers had 30-year retirement.
Okay.
We were able to negotiate it to a 25-year. Thank you, legislature. And they got a decent raise with that, so we're in a better position to recruit.
Because that's one of the toughest parts, right? I mean, the competition is fierce.
Oh, yeah, it is. And I rode up to Albany with the Ontario County Sheriff yesterday, and they make probably 20% higher than what ours do. Yeah. And he's 10 down.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, so, you know.
Yeah.
But it is, I think, all of the efforts we've been doing, and kudos to Major Sutton and Captain Mills for all that they've been doing out in the community and in recruiting and in trying to do things to get more correction officers in. It seems like it's starting to pay off.
Good. We got to take a short break. Stay with us. We'll be right back with Frankly Speaking. Get your questions in, and we'll be back after this.
This year, WYDC is bringing you 25 New York Mets games free over the air this spring and summer. No fees and no subscription services. Tune into WJKP 48.2 to watch the New York Mets this MLB season. Let's go Mets!
If you want an experience that wakes you up, a place where you can scream to your heart's delight, go ahead. No one will hear you anyway. Here, you don't just watch. You feel. Come as you are and have a damn good time. That rumble you hear, that growl you feel, that's us.
Aboard Rocky Mountaineer, you'll traverse the Canadian Rockies with ease, where world-class service and conversations flow like a mountain river. Rocky Mountaineer.
Having a safe home is essential to many aspects of our lives. From a sense of community and safety, to physical and mental health, to economic security and independence. Most homes in our communities are not accessible and are not designed to accommodate the changes that come with age, including the risk of falling. The Older Adults Home Modification Program helps reduce the risk of falls, improves safety, and increases accessibility and independence. Through this program, Rebuilding Together works with older adults to provide no-cost preventative home repairs so our neighbors can safely age in place in the homes and communities they love. To learn more, visit rebuildingtogether.org/safeathome.
The Frankly Speaking Roof Cam, brought to you by Boss Security in Horseheads. Contact them today for all your business and home security needs. We are back broadcasting live from the Hesselson studio and the studio, the sheriff. We got a couple comments. Mark writes in, I see the federal officials are serving 22 search warrants in Minnesota due to the fraud that was there. I heard some updates on that. We'll probably talk more about that tomorrow. Comment from Steve. He says, good morning, Frank and Sheriff Allard. Steve here. Why did Governor Hochul just testify saying New York State works with the ICE agency and does everything in its power to help assist in removal of criminals? When will she be held accountable for politicians that blatantly lie to the citizens? Not only are they lying to citizens, but they're lying in front of Congress. Isn't that against the law?
I would say
in
so.
theory.
So what she's saying is that once folks that are wanted by ICE have been convicted and served their prison term, then they turn them over.
Oh, okay.
That's much, much different than what we do.
Yeah.
It's much, much different than what local law enforcement does. And again, it's just a semantics, a play on words to make it appear that they're cooperating when in fact they're not.
Yeah, I mean, that goes back to what we were saying earlier about PR. She's good at spinning.
She is.
But she knows that people aren't reading into everything she said. It's just about
she knows
the
her
headlines.
base.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Comment from it. You'll know this viewer. Steuben County residents are blessed to have such a thoughtful, considerate, and dedicated public servant in Sheriff Jim Allard, Mayor John Buckley.
Hey!
The mayor always watching.
Well, I can say the same thing for the residents of the city of Hornell.
Yep, they're very lucky to have
They
them.
are.
So we've got a couple things I wanted to mention. First of all, Emily's Challenge.
Yeah.
I've been seeing it all over the news. They've been everywhere.
It has. It was just in Saratoga at the State Traffic Safety Conference.
Oh,
yeah.
my goodness.
Yeah.
So how much travel do you think there? Because it just keeps growing every year.
It does.
So
It
are they
does.
busy almost every week?
Yeah. And it was funny because Kim Clark, our dispatcher, who she also speaks, it's her baby.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
Emily was her daughter. And she goes and accompanies the trailer and speaks from the heart wherever she goes and does a phenomenal job. And she started sending me, she's like, how do you want me to do the schedule? I said, you look and see what fits for you.
Yeah.
And let me know. Just let me know where you're going and when so that, we can make the travel arrangements. But we're trying to keep it local as much as we can. But the more it's out there, the more other parts of the state want to have it because it is so impactful.
It is impactful. I saw it at the fair, but I saw that they were at Watkins Glen. That got a lot of news coverage.
Yeah, no empty chair.
Yeah, and that's it's just such a wonderful. People haven't seen it. We try to promote on this program a lot, but I know you normally have it at the fair.
Yep.
You have it some places like that, and it'll be around a lot this summer. Sounds like
It's and we try to get it to almost every school district this time of year before prom.
Sure.
And but again, it reaches not just high school kids, but colleges. We've had it at a couple SUNYs.
Yeah.
We've had districts, like I say, in the neighboring counties that have asked, and we've obviously that's what we do.
Yeah.
So
did you think it
we've
would
done
take
that.
off like this? Because I know
did.
there's a lot of work.
It was a 3-year project.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did think it because it is so impactful in anything that we can do that can reach our young people. And when you're 17, you think you're 10 foot tall and bulletproof.
Yep.
And this kind of shows them, whoa, small, very quick decisions can
change everything.
Yeah. And that's the purpose of the trailer, is to show that, and also to show what you leave behind when you make those poor decisions. And that it doesn't just affect you, it affects your family, your community, your friend group, everyone for years and years and years to come.
It sticks with you. I'll tell you that. When you see it, it's not something that goes away. I mean, it was beautifully done.
It was. And, WETM, I got to give them
because
thanks.
it was a video, right?
They did the video, they edited it, they did all of that for us, and never charged us a dime. So, I mean, that was amazing. There was a lot of folks that donated a lot to it because it really is a labor of love.
And once you hear about it, you want to be a part of it.
Yeah.
That's how. So if anybody hasn't seen it, we'll try to promote it as much as possible.
Yeah.
I thought the Watkins, that looked like they did a really great job up there. She was telling me that, I can't remember who the race car driver was.
Ross
up there.
Chastain.
Yeah, and he was saying, I can talk about going fast and putting your seatbelt on, but it's that.
Yeah.
That's what does it.
And he's been working with the governor's traffic safety probably 5-6 years. He donates a lot of time for traffic safety.
I think in general too. It seems like he's, especially around, not this
he
time of
seems
year,
like
but
a
this
really
year.
good person.
Yeah. So, okay. Also, before we take another short break, the drug take back. We were promoting it last week. It looked like it was record numbers almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it 549? I think.
Yeah.
I might have the number wrong, but it was a lot.
It was a lot.
And my hat's off to the opioid committee. They do such a wonderful job.
Yeah,
and this year, public health came too.
Yeah.
So it was a consortium, and we have it up at the public safety building. People can pull up if they don't even have to get out of their car. The deputies will go out and get it, bring it back in, and it's worked out well. I was talking to some other sheriffs yesterday that had it because it's
a
everywhere
national
the
day,
same
right?
day.
Yeah.
And it sounded like we had more than most of our neighbors.
Oh wow!
So I was glad to see it be that successful.
Well, and you've been doing this for so long. Do you think it's just people are used to it now? Is that what it is?
I think they expect it. Yeah.
Because I know it's growing every year, but I wanted to ask how that was. All right, let's take another short break. Get those questions in, those comments in, and we'll be right back with Frankly Speaking after this.
When you're online, don't forget to
visit our Facebook page at Big Fox News. Catch up on news from the Twin Tiers and hear about local events. All on Facebook.com/Big Fox News.
The Deckel Deals is here, and it's exploding into April at Chilson Wilcox. Drive home a Ram 1500 and save over $6,400. Plus, get 2.9% for 72 months or 4.9% for 84. And this comes with the best powertrain warranty in the business. 10 years, 100,000 miles. Or save up to $8,400 on a 2025 Jeep Grand Cherokee. But hurry, only 13 left. They all must go. As always, get the highest trade-in values. Period. These deals won't last. When they're gone, they're gone.
Google reviews rank Ferrario Jeep Ram the highest customer experience Jeep Ram dealer in our area. Returning Stellantis lessee, lease a new Ram 1500 Bighorn Hemi V8, just $499 a month and $29.99 due at signing. Or lease a new Jeep Gladiator Rubicon, just $419 a month and $29.99 due at signing. Check out all your Jeep Ram favorites during our declaration of deals. Visit Ferrario Jeep Ram now.
Meteorologist Brandon Weathers, some showers and rumble of thunder are also possible for today. Temperature near average as we top off around 63. Additional showers and thunderstorms are possible through the overnight hours with the system crossing the area. Temperatures still pretty seasonable, but we start to be on the backside of a cold front on Thursday with temperatures now about 10 degrees below average in the mid-50s. We'll be on the cool side with additional showers possible Friday, looking to stay cool for a dry weekend.
Frankly Speaking Roof Cam brought to you by Boss Security in Horseheads. Contact them today for all your business and home security needs. We are back broadcasting live from the Hasselson studio. In that studio, we have Sheriff Jim Allard. Okay, let's see. Where do we go from here? There's so many things going on. Oh, you know what's coming up right around the corner? You got a breakfast coming up.
Yes.
Because we mentioned COs earlier, wasn't it?
Yeah, so Correction Officer Week is in May, the week of May 6th. So Captain Mills is getting our aprons back out, and we're going to do a breakfast for the whole office, but in honor of Correction Officers Week, and we'll be doing breakfast and we always invite 911 over and invite the legislators if they want to come and chit chat with the folks, and we'll be cooking from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. that morning.
Okay.
And make sure that the night shift gets some, the day shift gets some, and.
But this is fun, right? I mean,
yeah,
you guys
I have a lot of fun with it. Yeah.
What goes into the menu decision? Just whatever you feel like that?
Yeah. Whatever we have the ability to cook.
Oh, yeah. The bar is right here. That is what you're saying. I wondered why is it scrambled eggs and breakfast.
It's scrambled eggs and pancakes and sausage typically for the breakfast. Yeah.
But no, I think that's
no
great.
poached eggs. No.
No. Eggs Benedict or whatever.
No, eggs Benedict. I wanted to do biscuits and gravy, but. Yeah.
Now everybody's hungry. Okay. We also have, this every year is so amazing, and that's the upcoming memorial ceremony.
Yeah.
If people haven't been to this, tell them a little about it. I know it's coming up on May 15th.
Yeah, Friday, May 15th. This will be our 11th annual police memorial service where we honor those that fell in the line of duty, not just in our county, but also in the 6 contiguous counties. Mm-hmm. And we'll have some youth singing. Usually we have some young person singing the national anthem, and we'll have bagpipes, and the ritual team from the Legion will be there to do taps and the 21 gun salute, and we'll have some folks speak. Typically Assemblyman Sempolinski is there, the chair of the legislature, Kelly Fitzpatrick, will be there to speak. Usually Assemblyman Palmisano is there. Representatives from Congressman Langworthy and Senator O'Mara will be there, and agency heads from most of the police departments in the county and from our neighboring sheriff's offices will have someone there. And we just take a minute. It's at the end of Police Week. We take a minute to remember and honor not only those that made the ultimate sacrifice, but their families.
Mhm.
Again, you know, it's the impact on the families that are here, that survive, that we have to remember also, because they're the ones that have to be reminded every day.
Yeah.
And it's so difficult for them. So we take that time to remember them and
It's
have them in our
movement.
hearts.
It's. I would recommend anybody go.
Yes,
Especially,
it's open to the public, so
Yeah.
anybody that wants to come, please do.
I also like when you see younger people there.
Yes.
Because it's easy to hear people talk about it, but the ultimate sacrifice, you
Yeah.
want them to realize, and that event will make you'll take it in.
Well, and I've been doing this gig for 38 years now, and I've been to more police funerals than I care to remember.
I'm sure.
And when I start talking about those, it's difficult for me to control my emotions
Oh, yeah.
and stay in the moment and be the MC, because
And taps isn't fair no matter what.
no,
That's
followed up with Amazing Grace.
Yeah, that's cheating.
That's
At
tough.
that point.
It
Yeah,
is,
that's
it's
a tough
tough.
one. But where did this idea come from? You said it was 11 years.
Yeah, so Sheriff Cole, my
Yeah, of
predecessor,
course.
again, he was a Vietnam veteran, and had worked with the state police in the contiguous counties. He was out of the Wayland Barracks primarily, but he also worked in Schuyler County, and he was the one. It was funny because when Governor Cuomo first got elected, and I think it was 2012 was the last time we had a split legislature. We had
Yeah, right around there, yeah.
Democrat-controlled Assembly, Republican-controlled Senate, and then it was 2013 when it was one-party rule, and we started seeing the SAFE Act and attacks on public safety come out. It was Sheriff Cole then that said we've got to do something in this time now of people looking sideways at law enforcement.
Right.
We've got to do something to bring it back to what we really do, and the fact that they are heroes that are here and will give their life if necessary to protect their community.
Yeah, and I think it's great. I mean, that's why I say I like to see young people come, but just in general, it normally gets very good crowds. So
Yeah, it
we'll
does.
make sure to promote it as it nears. But mark your calendar, May 15th. So what else we got going? Oh, hey, how's things behind the scenes? Because there was a shake up there a couple months ago.
Shake up?
The undersheriff, the then undersheriff. Am I telling you something you don't know?
No one told me about this.
But no, I know that obviously there's a learning
Yes.
curve. How's it
It's
going?
going really, really well, honestly. I was talking with Brian Logsdon on my way down here today, the new undersheriff, and just getting caught up because I wasn't in the office yesterday. And he has fit in amazingly well. And Lieutenant Sorge has fit in very well. It's been almost seamless.
Yeah.
Knock on wood.
Yeah, that's great.
I don't
Wow.
want to jinx myself
Yeah.
because I'm sure we'll miss some things.
Sure.
I mean, Under Sheriff McNellis took care of so much. And I'm sure there's going to be some things that slip through the cracks. But right now, it feels like all of the training is paying off.
Yeah. Does he like the new job?
He does.
Yeah.
He does.
He
He's
probably
getting
misses it a little
settled.
bit, though.
Well, it's just so different, because now you're the guy.
Yeah.
And the jail folks are coming over wanting an opinion, and the road folks come in and want an opinion, and he's got to be the guy now. And I used to tell Under Sheriff McNellis, your job is to slow things down.
Yeah.
Once you're in administration, you don't have to make that immediate decision. Now it's time to slow things down, gather all the information, and make that measured, long-lasting decision that's not going to come back and bite you.
Right.
And so that's always a big challenge when you go from a first or second line supervisor position to a management position.
Sure.
Because now you can't make that knee-jerk reaction. You've got to stop and make a measured decision.
Right.
Based on all the information. So he's doing very, very well.
Oh, good. We got to take another short break. Stay with us. We'll be right back with Frankly Speaking after this.
When you're online, don't forget Visit our Facebook page at Big Fox News. Catch up on news from the Twin Tiers and hear about local events. All on Facebook.com/Big Fox News.
The Declaration Deals is here, and it's exploding into April at Chilson Wilcox. Drive home a Ram 1500 and save over $6,400. Plus, get 2.9% for 72 months or 4.9% for 84. And this comes with the best powertrain warranty in the business. 10 years, 100,000 miles. Or save up to $8,400 on a 2025 Jeep Grand Cherokee. But hurry, only 13 left. They all must go. As always, get the highest trade-in values. Period. These deals won't last. When they're gone, they're gone.
Google reviews rank Ferrario Jeep Ram the highest customer experience Jeep Ram dealer in our area. Returning Stellantis lessee, lease a new Ram 1500 Bighorn Hemi V8, just $499 a month and $29.99 due at signing. Or lease a new Jeep Gladiator Rubicon, just $419 a month and $29.99 due at signing. Check out all your Jeep Ram favorites during our declaration of deals. Visit Ferrario Jeep Ram now.
Meteorologist Brandon Weathers, some showers and rumble of thunder are also possible for today. Temperature near average as we top off around 63. Additional showers and thunderstorms are possible through the overnight hours with the system crossing the area. Temperatures still pretty seasonable, but we start to be on the backside of a cold front on Thursday with temperatures now about 10 degrees below average in the mid-50s. We'll be on the cool side with additional showers possible Friday, looking to stay cool for a dry weekend.
The Frankly Speaking Roof Cam, brought to you by Boss Security and Horseheads. Contact them today for all your business and home security needs. We are back, broadcasting live from the Hesselson studio. In that studio, Sheriff Jim Allard. You know, we talked quickly, a couple little side comments about the county. So we should ask, anything new on the county?
Nothing new.
Nothing? It's May something.
May, yeah. Yeah, the appeal will be in May, and then we'll move on from there.
It's been a long time. A long time coming. I had to know, but I ask you, and I know nothing happened because we would have heard about it by now. But I know people want to get the updates.
No, I appreciate that.
Yeah. Mark writes in, the fact that someone commits a crime and is let go and to do it again is a Hochul money grab. Now we can charge them with multiple crimes, and the dollars go up because they can't commit multiple crimes if they're in jail. Well, maybe I don't think there's any reasoning behind the bail reform. Nothing reasonable.
No, and again, it's all about appealing to a specific base to get elected, and that's what the governor's very good at.
But does that work? Because, I mean, look how good Lee Zeldin did.
Yeah.
So I don't understand. It seems like she would distance herself from the failure in public safety. But
Right.
she really...
Well, they've done a good job of
hiding it.
Of no one mentions the HALT Act or the prison strike.
Yeah. Yeah, where did that go, right?
Yeah, it's like it never happened.
Yeah. That's why
I think they must have ServPro come in and
exactly
clean that up for them.
Well, that's what I like. And people don't even realize it comes up all the time. There's still National Guards in.
Yeah.
That's not their job.
There's still National Guard. The number of assaults on inmates is still high.
Yes.
Higher.
Yeah.
Number of assaults on the correction officers is still higher.
Yeah.
But
And
it's
the
a
media's
non-starter. Yeah. Well, look at it. When the strike was going on, no national media touched it.
No.
And I know that it was forwarded to them.
Oh, yeah. Well, because it should have been a national story.
Yes.
It
but
would have been. Yeah.
It was not.
No. I just wonder, just not getting on this necessarily, but Bruce Blakeman, he did a great job talking to corrections officers in Elmira. Came down to Corning. That was more about energy policy. But he's trying, but it's just so tough in the state.
It is. And, he's got I was talking with Todd Hood yesterday. And
he's a big dude.
He is. He is. And he's such a good guy.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so happy.
He was so nice. He was like, I didn't know he was here. So I'm interviewing Blakeman. How I missed him, but
yeah. Well, he usually stands off to the side.
He did, and he was
yeah.
right there, and he goes, "Oh, great job! I love it." I'm like, "I would have had you on too." Like,
yeah.
But anyway, it's a good pick.
It was a very good pick, and he said that as summer goes on, we're going to see a lot more of the two of them, and a lot more advertising for Blakeman. I said that's good because, if we don't get that, we're not going to get the vote out.
Yeah. And that's kind of what we're dealing with right now. That's why I was so happy that Blakeman could be on my show, because I told people, if you can see him, like I did at the corrections officer rally, if you're going to love him.
Yeah.
But can you see him? And that's why I had
There's got to be that connection.
And that's what 20 minutes they gave me. But you have to do. That's the kind of stuff that he has to do, and he does a really good job at it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think it's always a tough road to hoe, but we've got to.
It is.
But we got to have faith.
Well, and shame on us if we don't do the work up here to get it done.
Exactly. Yep. It's not just about going on election day. Get out there and get signs. He's already said he's going to have signs. There's going to be more rallies. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, give your neighbor a ride.
Right. I'm going to a rally Sunday over in Madison County just so that I can hear him speak.
Yeah. I think you really like him. I mean, he's spot on with everything he says. It's just the megaphone.
Right.
And that's the problem. Hochul has it. And
Republicans don't. Every day.
Yeah, and she's got a war chest. My goodness. She's got a lot of money.
I had to laugh. We had our press conference scheduled at 10:30 in the Capitol building yesterday morning. And magically, the governor called a press conference in Colony at the same time.
Are you serious?
I am 100% serious.
Oh, okay. She's good at stuff like that.
She is. So we rescheduled at 12:30 instead of 10:30 to get, because there would have been no press there.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
Governor Hochul. All right, a couple other things before we get ready to go. How's the wellness camp coming?
It's going really well. Tremendous amount of interest on it. We've had some more large donors that have committed. We're doing our first class in June at we're going to do it at Keuka College because the center isn't built yet.
Right.
But we're still going to go ahead and start training.
That's great.
So that's going to be in June. Then we've got a retreat scheduled up there in September after the camp is done, and it's getting momentum. And I had a lot of folks after I was on last time say, "Hey, I haven't got a letter."
Right.
If you go to the Sheriff's Institute website, it's right there.
It's right there.
Yeah, you can click on it and you can do you make your donation right through that.
Yeah.
You can do it through PayPal, Venmo, or credit card, whatever you want to do. But yeah, just go right to New York State Sheriff's Institute website, and there's a donation page.
Well, everybody that hears about it, I know, wants to get involved.
Yeah.
So they've kind of just been waiting for the go-ahead,
I think.
Yeah. Have you noticed, or is it too early, that there has been a lot of small dollar donations? Or
there has been, and I met with the Snyder Foundation 2 weeks ago, and that foundation was founded in memory of Sergeant Devin Snyder that was killed in Afghanistan, and they're interested in being part of it.
Oh, that's great.
So I directed them where to go and explained what we were trying to accomplish. But 2 months ago, we had 2 more suicides within 2 weeks of each other.
That's horrible.
One in the city of Ithaca and one in the county of Tioga. And it's just, they're all avoidable, every one of them.
Right. Well, that's why I know we brought it up in the past, but it's hard to believe no one ever thought of this.
Well, it was a different time. I mean, when I started my career, you suck it up, buttercup, and rub a little dirt on it, and then go have a pop after your shift, and you'll be fine.
Right.
And we realize now that doesn't work, especially not with today's generation.
No. And just the horrible things. I mean, we were finally learning really about PTSD and things like that. I mean, this is all relatively new.
It is, and again, we've talked about this, but the thing that hits me the most is the life expectancy.
Yeah.
The average law enforcement police officer life expectancy now is down to 58.
Wow.
Yeah, and the average time in retirement is 3 to 5 years. So that tells me that the accumulated stress through a career is so damaging to the body. And we just former Chief Felici just passed here 2 weeks ago, and I was out of town when they had his service, but I heard it was very nice. nice mass for him. We sent people to it, but he was an anomaly. He was into his 80s.
Yeah.
But I worked with so many people. Mike Schwartz, who was one of my best friends at Corning, a year after he retired, he had a heart attack. 2 years after his second fatal heart attack.
Oh my gosh.
Billy Essman, sheriff of Schuyler County, was retired a year and died here last November, right here in Corning.
Right.
Ron Spike, who was sheriff in Yates County, a year after he retired, had a triple bypass. So I see, you can't deny the evidence. It's all around us.
No. And the wellness camp, you said it's going to open in September? That's the goal?
The first retreat's going to be in September. Once we hit our goal for money, raising money, enough money for brick and mortar,
right?
The company that's building it said within 6 weeks they'll be digging.
Oh my goodness.
So once we hit that goal, boom.
What's the class at KUCA?
So that is an FBI Officer Resiliency Train the Trainer.
Okay.
So that's training resiliency officers to go back to their agency and be able to train others. And it's also suicide in first responder arenas and the science of addiction.
Okay. Where do you get the ideas for the classes, or are these people that come to you and say they want to be a part of it?
So we have several partners. Again, part of this was getting everybody in the state to kind of start working together towards the same direction. So we've been having meetings for 2 years with the Mental Health Association of New York State, with Department of Homeland Security, New York State, and with FASNY, the Fire Association, with Bureau VMS, the Chiefs of Police Association, our institute, and we've been working collaboratively as a group along with DCJS to let's set some standards for peer support.
Yeah.
Let's set some standards for training that meets the needs. Let's say what is acceptable and what's not. And we've been working forward. I was just on a committee for DCGS to set the standards for peer support training, and this impetus now. It feels like we've hit the tipping point where everybody's in.
Yeah.
And it's just rolling and gaining steam and gaining momentum, and so everybody. The retreat we're doing is New York State Department of Homeland Security.
Okay.
Their wellness guy is like, can we do a retreat at your camp? Oh. You bet you can.
Yeah.
Come on in.
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Well, when you knew it was going to be a success, it's just a matter of time and money, right?
Right.
And
As
that's
everything.
Pretty good. I know, but that's a pretty good turnaround, because when did the conversation start on this? Not that long ago.
No, it's been within the last 3 years.
Yeah. Wow, that's amazing. All right, we're going to take our last break, so get your last second questions or comments in, and we'll be right back.
I had to pack up all my things. I had to leave my home. And I never knew where I was going next. It felt like I never even had a say. But then you came along.
Change a child's story. There's a child in foster care waiting for a volunteer like you. Learn how you can help at nationalcasagal.org.
The Deck of Deals is here, and it's exploding into April at Chilson Wilcox. Drive home a Ram 1500 and save over $6,400. Plus, get 2.9% for 72 months or 4.9% for 84. And this comes with the best powertrain warranty in the business. 10 years, 100,000 miles. Or save up to $8,400 on a 2025 Jeep Grand Cherokee. But hurry, only 13 left. They all must go. As always, get the highest trade-in values. Period. These deals won't last. When they're gone, they're gone.
Meteorologist Brandon Weathers, some showers and rumble of thunder are also possible for today. Temperature near average as we top off around 63. Additional showers and thunderstorms are possible through the overnight hours with the system crossing the area. Temperatures still pretty seasonable, but we start to be on the backside of a cold front on Thursday with temperatures now about 10 degrees below average in the mid-50s. We'll be on the cool side with additional showers possible Friday.
Frankly Speaking Roof Cam, brought to you by Boss Security in Horseheads. Contact them today for all your business and home security needs. We are back, broadcasting from the Hesselson studio, and that studio Sheriff Jim Allard. We got a couple of last-minute things before we wrap up today's edition. Boater safety, how are the classes going?
Good. We've scaled back to every other month now.
Okay.
Right now we have, I think it's this coming week, next week, is the Marine Law Enforcement 1-week training that Parks and Recreation puts on for new deputies that'll be on the boat.
Okay.
And so we're sending 2 new part-timers to that next week.
Okay.
And we'll be ready. The polar plunge was last week at the Swits.
Oh, yeah. How'd that go?
It was on Saturday in the rain.
Oh.
So I heard it wasn't very well attended.
Yeah.
It was 40 degrees and rainy.
Yeah.
Burr.
That'll do it.
Yeah. So that we had the boat in the water for that, and we always have somebody there for safety. And but it was unlike years past. There were no fights and nobody fell off the dock or
like you
anything
said,
like
because
that.
it's 40 and no one was out.
Yeah, that's tough.
But if you still have people come up to you and act as if they're unaware of the boater safety?
No.
Now at this point, it's finally settled?
No, and I'll tell you, too, for the last 3 years, I've been pushing that at both the Cuca Lake Association and the Lamoco Juanita Lake Association, saying you got to get it done, you got to get it done, you got to get it done. So
also,
I think folks have been doing that.
Yeah, I think so. I just think there was that initial shock, and it wasn't well publicized when it first came out.
Well, I mean, I get the decision to do it. I don't think it's a bad idea. But for folks that have been driving boats for 60 years,
It's tough
seemed,
to- yeah.
But I did learn something new when I did it.
Okay.
So
it
it
was
wasn't a
all
waste
worth
of
it.
time.
It was
Yeah.
all worth it.
Yeah.
We also have, it's hard to believe because it's still cold out, the golf tournament coming
Yes.
up.
Yeah.
So we were talking yesterday, 11th year or 10th year?
This will be the 10th year for the golf tournament.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Anything people need to know this year if they want to be participating?
Yeah, get a hold of Terry.
Yeah.
And anybody can have a team as long as you have one either active or retired law enforcement member on it. That's the only requirement.
And last year's, the weather was perfect.
It
That's a beautiful
was.
course.
It was up to Twin Hickory up in
Yeah.
Hornell. That's where it's going to be again today.
Okay.
Or this year. Not today, but this year. And Corning Catering does
Of course.
does the meal every year and does a phenomenal job.
Way too much food.
And way too good.
Yeah.
It's always a good time, and we'll be there. And I think this year we're probably going to give a few awards out since it's the 10th.
Oh, yeah. Makes
to
sense.
folks that have been there for us for the entire time.
It reminds me, that golf course reminds me of Pinnacle. You know how the
Yes,
view, and
yeah.
I miss that. That was my favorite
Yeah.
course, but that's so beautiful up there because you could just take it all in.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, it is a gorgeous view, and it's a decent course, and I think everybody really enjoyed it there.
Comment from a viewer: What you said I was going to throw something out of left field. Well, no, it's fine. What's the fine if you don't have a boat safety certificate? Just curious.
It's similar to a traffic ticket. It's a graduating fine. I can't remember. I think the first one's not bad. It's like $50 or $60, but then second or third time it's up into the multi-hundreds.
Oh,
yeah.
So there's no excuse, and they don't have to go and see you. There's stuff online, too.
Yes, they can do it online if you go to the New York State Parks and Recreation and Historic District website, or historic something website. You can. That's where my son did it online.
Okay.
He
So
went
right
there
from your home.
Yeah.
And finally, before we go, you got an upcoming open house.
Yeah. It's going to be mid-June. We're going to do an open house. The date's not quite set yet. We're going to do an open house at the Public Safety Building as a means of recognizing the good works that our folks do, but also to help with the continued recruitment for correction officers.
That was a great idea anyway, because I know, like, when we had the new legislators come in, and you had, it's kind of like what we talk about with, well, it's kind of like what we talk about with corrections officers in general. I don't want to see what's going on behind right? And that's the problem, that a lot of people don't know what's going on, and they're not hearing about the HALT Act and things like that. So it's nice to actually have an open house and talk with these people.
Right. Yeah.
And like you said, it should encourage more people to become COs, because it is a good job.
Yes, it is a very good job. It's a good paying job, and the retirement is right now. It's a place. It was funny because a friend of mine's son we hired, or a friend of mine's son-in-law we hired as a correction officer, and I thought that he wanted to be on the patrol side.
Yeah.
And I saw him the other day, and I said, "Hey, you're all signed up for that May test, right?" And he goes, "No, I didn't sign up for it." I go, "Really?" I said, "Can you tell me why?" And he said, "I really like doing what I'm doing in the jail, and
That's great.
He goes, "I like the team I'm with. I like doing it here because he's had other offers to go other places."
Sure.
He goes, "I like what I'm doing, and I like where I'm doing it."
That's great.
And I thought, that's about the best recommendation I can get.
Make sure he's at the open house.
Yeah.
Or at the
Because,
job fairs, or
and it's good to hear. And I hear that, from a lot of our folks, the changes that we've made in the jail, especially with the training and equipment, have made all the difference for them.
Yeah, that's great. So if people, I don't think we've done this in a long time, but if people do want to become a corrections officer, they don't have to wait for the open house. What should they do? Just contact you?
They can contact us, or they can contact Steuben County personnel. It's an open and ongoing recruitment. The state changed the rules used to be you had to wait for a test, and now it's open, and it's an open enrollment basically, where they bring in these folks and evaluate their application to see if they meet the minimum standards, and if so, there's no test anymore.
Oh, that's nice.
They can just certify a list. So it's an open and continuing enrollment for correction officers at Steuben County. All they got to do is contact the personnel office and sign up.
All right. Well, that does it for today's edition. I think we covered everything. What do you think?
I think so. It's a
lot to
It's
cover.
always a joy to be here.
Well, thanks for coming on. And,
Yeah.
Good luck with the upcoming breakfast.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to be ready.
Well, that'll be fun.
Only
They were
7 days.
one quick last thing. They
Yeah.
pick on me because Captain Mills and I wear aprons
Yeah.
when we're cooking,
Yeah.
and I'm a disaster
Like
on
a
the
sitcom.
front, and
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
clean,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So they're like, "Why is he always clean?" I said, "Well, it's because my belly sticks out farther than his does, so I'm getting
Get on the
batter
table,
and eggs
right on
and
the-
everything else on me." Yeah.
On that note, all right. Join us every weekday morning starting at 6 for Frankly Speaking, only on WYDC TV. Big Fox, we'll see you tomorrow morning bright and early. Look forward to it already.